So today we're going to make a poinsettia wreath. I'm going to start out with a 10-inch round form. And then I'm also going to have this plastic canvas. I have a link in the description for everything I'm going to use. So what I'm going to do, just like I do my other flower wreaths, I am going to use a Sharpie, trace out the inner circle, okay, which I've already done super lightly right here. And I'm going to use just regular scissors, cut that out, and I'm going to attach it to this inner ring form with 4-inch zip ties. You can use as many as you want to make sure it holds. I like to use at least one per section. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make the petal here. I have 10 by 10 pieces of poly burlap. I'm using both red and emerald green. For this particular wreath, you can use whatever colors you want, okay? So I have this 10 by 10. I want to turn that into a diamond shape. My personal opinion, I like to have the finished edge on that top left, okay? I'm going to bring top corner down to the bottom corner. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take any kind of clip you have and just clip that shut. Now what I want you to do is push all the way up in the very center, okay? Kind of keep that stretched out with your fingers and your thumb, and I'm going to bring this right fold down. With that clip those together, okay? I'm going to flip that over. Again, I'm going to stretch that out, bring this down. Try to make sure that these two here on the edge, the two pieces that you brought down, they're even. This initial corner right here, that's going to be just about an inch up. Okay, so I'll bring those two down. Take that clip out. I'm going to take my 4-inch zip tie. I'm going to go from the very bottom up to the 2-inch mark. And if you can see, part of that first corner is going to be in that. Okay, yeah, we got this fray. I'm going to cut that. We don't need to worry about that. Okay, but I'm going to take my 4-inch zip tie, and right there at the 2-inch mark, we're going to zip tie that shut. I cut my fingernails, so I'm having a tough time getting that. Okay. Oh, and it's facing the wrong way. So we're done with that. I'll just cut that, and I'll just grab my scissors, get that fray off of there. Okay. And that's it. I also like to cut off the very bottoms of this. And there's your petal. I'll do this real quick again. Diamond shape. Pull that down. Clip this. Okay, stretch it out. Pull this down. Clip that together. Flip it over. Make sure it's stretched out again. And pull that down. Okay. Take my 4-inch zip tie and try to make sure that these two are even. This is just a slightly longer. I'll just take it up to where they're even and zip tie it shut. Okay. Now, if this is too curvy for you, you could take that same clip and just clip that top. And believe me, it doesn't take long, 10 minutes maybe, and it'll be trained to be a little pointier because I like having that nice point for a poinsettia, even though it's not poinsettia. That's how I grew up saying it. So, okay, so we got these. Let me cut these down. And I'm going to do the exact same thing with the green. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the leaves. I'm going to do the green first. Now, I was going to put them right on the crossbar, but you can see, I don't know if you can see this, it has like a really sharp angle there. That's probably going to make it a little difficult to have that on there. So I'm going to put it right next to it, okay? And I'm just going to use my 6-inch zip tie. Okay, get that started. I'm going to put that in there. And see how it angles to one side? I'm going to crisscross it. I'm going to put another zip tie going this way. And I went the same way. So I didn't crisscross. Okay, let's try this again. Let's crisscross it. Instead of going this way, we want to go this way. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, let's pull that tight. Okay, and that makes that stand straight up. Okay, so I'm going to do that going all the way around. So we got the leaves done. Okay, now what I'm going to do is go with the petals. Instead of going on that second row, I'm going to go right here on this third ring from the outside. And I'm going to put 2 per section. We have everything on, again, 2 per section. I just try to make sure they're fairly even in between each section here, okay? If you need to move them around a little bit just to make sure they're even, then that's all you need to do, okay? And yeah, these are slightly overlapping each other, very slightly, okay? So, from this point, what I want to do is go right in, maybe about a ½ an inch in. We're going to put 10 more petals. I'm going to do one right underneath where that green one is, like right underneath the crossbar, and then one right in between the 2 that's in that section. Okay? I'll just start on this one right here. Kind of go in one hole, skip a hole, come out the other. Get the zip tie so it's correct the right way. Okay, so in one hole, kind of skip a hole, come out the other. Put that in right there in between. And we don't need to crisscross or anything because that plastic canvas is going to keep it right where we need it. And it'll be going straight up. Okay, so you can see how these are slightly overlapping, just a little bit more than that first row of the red. So this last one that I put on, I'm just going to make sure that goes behind, because each one is going over top of the previous petal. Okay, so we have that second row. Now if you have like a large sign, you can stop here and that will be your finished flower. For the next petal, I'm going to do a different style of petal. I'm just going to do your typical Star Trek petal. So for the Star Trek petal, I have my 10 by 10 piece of poly burlap. Again, I'm going to put that into a diamond shape. Take the top corner, bring it down to the bottom corner, and kind of, you can see right where that middle is. I'm going to take one side, bring it over to the other. And that is kind of your Star Trek symbol there. Okay. Now, I like to turn it to the side. What I like to do, take my finger, kind of put that right there in the center, and squeeze the sides together. Try to make sure that that is somewhat even there. Now I will take this and push it down right there in the center. Take my 6-inch zip tie and I'm going to measure from the tip to where I'm going to put my zip tie. It's going to be 5 inches. I like to measure each one just to make sure they are very similar in length, so it all looks a little more uniform. Okay, and what I'm going to do is cut this off, and when we put these on, I think I want to put these on so it's facing up like this, like the concave side up. So for this last row, what I'm going to do, kind of right in between each of these that are the previous row, okay, right in between those, I'm going to kind of right at where they end, kind of get my zip tie in there, get that started, and put one of these right in there. And yes, it's going to be concave side up. And I'm going to do this all the way around. Okay, so we have all of these in. You may want to adjust them just a little bit, just to make sure everything is good and centered. We don't want to see any zip ties that are behind them. Okay, so we used 10 of these, okay? So 10, 10, and 10. And now we got to figure out what we're going to do for the center. So before I go any further, I noticed that some of these petals don't quite look right to me. It's a little crooked, okay? What I'm going to do, I'm going to take this out, fix it, put it back in so it looks right. I took a picture of this and I didn't like the way it looked. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fix this and I'll be right back to show you what I'm going to do with the center. So you can see that I got 2 different bulbs here. Both of these are from the Dollar Tree. And this one is a little more dull. And this is the one I'm going to use. Just because poly burlap is not very shiny. So I wanted to use something that wasn't quite so shiny. If you want to, please go ahead and do it. This is just my personal preference. So that's what I'm going to do. I already pulled some of these bulbs out. I'm not going to take this off or anything like that. I'm just going to hot glue these directly to the wreath. I really don't think we're going to have much problem with the hot glue simply because it's winter months. Even from the south, I don't think there's going to be a problem. Okay, and I found these at my at-home store. They are very close in color, and it also has that dull look there. So I think that's going to work out pretty well. Okay, so I have each of these bulbs here, and what I'm going to do is just hot glue right around the base right here. And put it right in between two of these petals, right there where the zip tie is. Okay, I'm going to hold that for a second there. Then I'm going to skip right here in between the next ones and go to the next one over. Okay. And yeah, there's going to be some space in between there. That's what those smaller beads are going to be for. So we have 5 in there right now. And then I'm going to stick one right there in the center. Okay, so I'm going to add a lot of hot glue right here. Just glue that right onto the other bulbs. Okay, so you can see there's a lot of space right there where you can see the zip ties and things like that and just kind of see through the wreath. We want to cover that up. So that's why I got this here. Let's just pull this out. So I'm going to take that branch there and I'm going to pretty much dissect this into smaller pieces. Okay, so we have like one piece here. There's 4 pieces kind of stuck together. I'll just take that and kind of hot glue that where I feel it's most needed. Okay, you know what, that looks better that way. And it doesn't matter if it's sideways, up and down. We can do whatever we want with this. And when I'm cutting this, I'm making sure I am cutting like just above like where the next like branch of berries are. Okay, so I have a little bit of just half an inch maybe of like that little stick there, stem, just to kind of help it to hot glue that. I'm dreaming of a wine Christmas. Yeah, somebody got me this shirt a few years ago and it's perfect for me. So cheers everybody. We got another wreath done. I think this turned out really, really nice. Very colorful, very festive. It's Christmassy. It can be used after Christmas, just for the winter. I think it's great. I'm happy with it. I hope you are too. My name is Patty Davis. I'm with Crooked Tree Creations, and I'll see you in our next video.